Ready to become your cat's personal nutrition guru? We're diving deep into the world of feline vitamins today.
You got it. We're breaking down a really interesting episode of Whisker Wellness Weekly. We want to give you all the info you need to keep your cat healthy.
Yeah, no more staring at the pet food aisle like it's written in a foreign language. We're going to give you the knowledge to make your cat the healthiest, happiest eater out there.
That's right. We're talking optimal cat health. And it all starts with remembering, well, cats aren't human. What we need to thrive is not the same as what they need.
Exactly. The podcast really emphasized that. Cats are obligate carnivores, meaning meat, well, it's not just a preference for them, it's essential.
Absolutely. It's fascinating when you think about it. Their bodies are literally designed to use the nutrients found in meat, from their prey.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You don't see cats out in the wild munching on berries. They're hunters, built to break down and use the nutrients from other animals.
Yeah. It's all connected to their evolution, and speaking of evolution, that leads us to vitamins. Just like us, cats need a specific mix of these micronutrients to be at their best. Whisker Wellness Weekly breaks down all the essentials, A, D, E, and K, and then the whole B vitamin group. And something that's not technically a vitamin, but it's crucial for cats, taurine.
Okay, so let's go through these one by one. What about vitamin A? Crucial for vision, right? Healthy skin, all that good stuff.
Exactly, super important. But here's where things get interesting. This is where cats and humans are different.
Oh.
Yeah, so us humans, we get our vitamin A from things like carrots, right?
Yeah.
But cats need a form of vitamin A that's already in animal tissues. They can't convert the plant-based beta-carotene like we can. Their bodies just don't work that way.
So I guess all those carrots I've been giving Mittens aren't really doing much.
Well, not for optimal eye health, no. To get that, they need good sources of vitamin A, like liver or fish oils, or of course, well-formulated cat food.
Liver, huh. Starting to sense a theme here. Although I'm not sure how well that's going to go over with my little buddy. He's a picky eater.
Maybe. But hey, it's super nutritious.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, it's about knowing what your cat needs, what these nutrients do. That helps you make good choices for what you feed your cat.
For sure. And speaking of important choices, what about vitamin D? We get it from the sun, but what about our indoor cats?
That's where things get even more interesting. Cats can get some vitamin D from sunlight, sure. But it's not their main source. Their diet is way more important for that. And when it comes to vitamin D, oily fish is like the gold standard. That's where they get most of it.
Interesting. So that's another reason those well-made commercial cat foods are so important.
Exactly. Those companies make sure their foods have enough vitamin D for your cat's bones, muscles, everything.
Okay, starting to think they know what they're doing. What about vitamin E? That's the one that fights those, what are they called, free radicals.
Yep. Vitamin E is essential for healthy skin and a strong immune system. And while their main source should be animal products, they can actually get some vitamin E from plant-based oils, like safflower oil.
Interesting. So a little healthy oil is good, but I'm guessing we're not talking about French fries here.
No, definitely not. It's all about balance. Now, moving on to vitamin K, which is so important. It's essential for blood clotting, and we all know cats can get into some scrapes.
Absolutely. We can't have them losing their 9 lives to a little scratch.
That's right. Luckily for us, vitamin K is easy to come by in the regular meat-based diet, and you guessed it, organ meats are a great source, especially liver.
Liver, the superstar. But didn't the podcast mention something about green vegetables? Like, even though they're carnivores, a little bit helps, right?
Yeah, you're right. A tiny bit of cooked spinach or kale in their food can give them a little vitamin K boost. It's like a little sprinkle of green in their meaty meals.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered A, D, E, and K. 4 down and a whole bunch of B vitamins to go. Anything else on these first 4?
Well, just with those 4, you can really see how a cat's digestion is tied to their diet over time. Like, it reminds us that we're not just picking at any food, we're choosing what works with how their bodies are designed.
It's true. So ready for these B vitamins? They sounded kind of complicated, like a whole bunch of little things that have to work together.
That's actually a great way to think about it. We've got B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, and each one's got its own job, energy, metabolism, even brain function. They all need B vitamins.
Wow, they really are like the team behind the scenes keeping everything running.
I like that. And you know what else is not surprising?
What?
Meat is their main source. Again.
It never gets old, right? It's funny how when we think about our own diets, we focus on proteins so much, but for
Okay.
cats, it's like protein's the key to this whole other level of nutrition, you know?
You're totally right. Protein for cats isn't just building muscle. It's literally delivering those B vitamins that make their bodies work.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Yep.
Okay, so meat, organ meats especially. But what about eggs? The podcast mentioned those for B vitamins, right?
Yeah. Eggs are really good for cats. They've got B vitamins, other nutrients too. Just make sure to cook them all the way through. We don't want any upset tummies.
Good point. Noted. So that's A, D, E, K, all those Bs. Anything else on the essential nutrient checklist?
One more, and it's a big one. It's actually not technically a vitamin, but we can't skip it. Taurine.
Taurine. Okay, I've heard of it, but why is it such a big deal?
For cats, it's huge.
Mm.
It's an amino acid, and it's essential for their hearts, their eyes. Even for having kittens, that's how important it is.
Wow, yeah, those are all pretty important things. Essential is an understatement.
Right. And here's the thing. Cats don't make enough taurine on their own, so we have to give it to them in their food.
Let me guess. Best source is going to be meat.
You got it. Dark meat, poultry, and seafood, things like tuna, salmon, those are packed with taurine.
So interesting how even with meat, some types are better for some nutrients.
You got it. And that's another reason those good commercial cat foods are so helpful. They make sure there's enough taurine in there so you don't have to stress about it.
It really takes the guesswork out, but hold on. What about homemade cat food? Didn't the podcast mention that? Is that even a good idea?
It's definitely possible, and some people prefer it for different reasons.
Sure.
But if you're thinking about it, talk to your vet first, or even better, a veterinary nutritionist.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd be so worried about missing something crucial, like taurine.
Exactly. It's easy to get the balance wrong, and even a little deficiency can be really bad for them.
Okay, so options are good, but be careful and get advice from the experts. We've covered all those vitamins, and taurine, which is like honorary vitamin at this point. Before we move on, I want to go back to commercial cat food for a sec.
Good idea. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
So many options. It's like trying to choose between 1,000 different kinds of cereal at the grocery store.
Don't even get me started. I walk in there with the best intentions and I'm totally lost. Dry food, wet food, special ingredients, grain-free. It's overwhelming.
Tell me about it. Luckily, Whisker Wellness Weekly had some great advice. They broke down how to read those labels, make sense of it all.
Okay, give us the inside scoop. What should we be looking for? Okay, yeah, lay it on us. What should we be looking out for?
So they said the most important thing is that phrase on the label, complete and balanced. If you see that, you're golden.
Makes sense. That tells us it's got all those vitamins we talked about.
Exactly. It means the food follows those rules from AAFCO,
Hmm.
the Association of American Feed Control Officials, or like the Pet Food Police.
AAFCO. Got it. So they make sure our cats are getting everything they need.
Yep. Okay, next up, flip that bag over and really look at the ingredients. Look for meat or fish listed first. Those are the good protein sources. And try to find ones that tell you what kind of meat, like chicken or salmon, not just poultry or fish, you know.
Yeah. Meat meal doesn't sound nearly as appetizing. Gotta give those cats the good stuff.
Right. And while we're talking ingredients, watch out for artificial stuff, like colors and flavors and preservatives. Those aren't good for them.
It's like they say, if you can't read it, don't eat it right. Or maybe that's just me.
Pretty much.
Yep.
And last but not least, check the carbs, especially if your cat's prone to, getting a little fluffy.
A little round, pecking on the winter weight.
That's the one. So yeah, reading those labels, the whole thing, but we can all figure it out.
Exactly. Practice makes perfect. We're all on our way to becoming cat food experts.
And hey, if you're ever not sure, or your cat has special needs, your vet's always there to help.
Couldn't agree more. They're the best resource for all things cat health. Well, there you have it. We went on a deep dive into cat vitamins, explored all the secrets of commercial cat food, and now you've got all the info you need to make good choices for your furry friends.
It's all about understanding what makes cats different, learning to read those labels, and then you can give them the food that'll help them live their best 9 lives.
Absolutely. And on that note, before you go, think about this. When you're picking out that perfect cat food, every choice makes a difference. Where do those ingredients come from? Is it sustainable? It all connects to our pets, our planet, even ourselves.
Definitely something to think about.
Until next time, keep those whiskers healthy and happy.